Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is placing furniture. And again, your book goes into more step-by-step details on how the components, where you can find them, going through that. We're going to start, I want to draw a space that you guys will then recreate for your assignment. So I'm going to start with walls. And I did go back to, where is it? My additional settings, annotations, temporary dimensions. And I changed my walls back to center lines because it works easier for the temporary dimensions for walls. So just so you know, that's kind of my preference. As you work through it, you'll find out what works for you. So we're going to start, when we click on walls, we're going to choose the generic 6-inch wall to do the exterior. You can see it's still set for level 2. If you want to make sure that's there, and then your finished face interiors. And I'm going to draw a space. I did not talk about, these are your elevation, your building elevation tags that are in here. So you want to always draw inside those to make sure everything's kind of set up correctly. So I'm going to do a space, we're going to do 32 feet by 54 feet, and come down. Well, I did not do that right. So I'm going to hit undo my last wall, and then I can come down, make sure it matches up, and go from there. Okay. So when you're trying to find the temporary dimensions, if you want to know the temporary dimensions for this wall, if you click on it, you'll notice it actually gives it for this wall over here because it's going by where is this wall placed. So if I want to know the length of this, I'm actually going to choose this other wall because what it's telling me is where is this wall placed and what do I need to adjust on here. So I'm going to make sure that these are on the center line. It's 32, so that's correct. And then I'm again going to make sure that these are on the interior face and 54, so that's all correct. Now I'm going to again go to wall, but I'm going to change back to the interior. And I'm just going to draw a wall. I didn't even measure it because I'm now going to come back and adjust it to where I want it to be. So again, I'm going to move my witness lines so that they're in the interior face. And I want this to be 11 feet. As it comes through, okay? So to go ahead and set that, I'm gonna go ahead and do my line dimensions. I'm gonna make sure it's at wall faces and pick these 2 faces and then lock it. So that way that will stay. Now I'm gonna draw, let's see, just a few walls because I'm gonna split this up into even spaces basically. That should work. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 walls that I drew. Now again, to get those equal, we're going to go to align dimension, change this back to wall center lines. And I'm going to click on each center line. You see it highlights with a dashed line. Go all the way to the end, okay? Because I want all of these spaces equal. Bring it up here and then hit my equal tab right there. All right, so those are all even as it goes through. So this gives me kind of an open space, some offices and others for furniture. We're going to come in here and I'm actually just going to choose a single flush door and we're going to go to 36 by 84 because again, that 84 height is good for commercial spaces. Lots of times when you are doing doors in offices, they kind of open back to back as you go through it. So I'm just going to kind of set mine up that way. And this last one, it could go either way with that. I'm also going to set an exterior entrance down here. So that way I have that. So now my temporary dimensions are at the opening, but I can move my witness line. So it's going to the center line here. So if I move it, it'll pull it in. And I'm going to set all of these at 4 inches. I'm going to make sure that I set my inches correctly as it goes through. Okay. The other thing you can do, let's delete these we'll delete those too. you can copy these. So if I come through, I highlight them, I hit copy, and I want to choose this center line from where I'm going to copy it to the next center line right there. So that way it's on the walls. So once you have one set, you can do others, and they're already 4 inches and all of that you need as you go through. So then I would just need to change this one because it was a single. All right. Okay, so you'll have that. We're not going to worry about windows at this point. I will give you kind of a final plan to work with to add those in. So for furniture, you're going to come to this component right here. And there will be some items that are already in. So a desk usually is in there. I think a desk chair sometimes. But to get the majority of items, you're going to come to Load Family. You're again going to make sure you're in the Imperial Library, and you're going to come down to the Furniture folder. All right, so in here you have beds, seating, storage, and tables. It's a limited option, and you have further desks over tables, under tables, but we'll talk about where you can find more options as well. So you have reception, you have a plain desk, an executive or reception desk, drafting table, coffee tables, dining tables, etc. So let's go ahead and just choose the executive desk and hit open. Now, when you do that, it's going to put it into your properties list, and as you go on, it'll stay in there. You won't have to add it every time. So we are going to place this, place it right here. And then again, I'm going to use my camera to make sure that it's facing the right way. So it has the doors and drawers on it. It doesn't really show you in the two-dimensional plan. So you want to check that. And it looks like this needs to be flipped. So I can flip it like that and come back to my view. And now it's got the opening back here for the chair. So that's what's nice with Revit is when I changed it here, it automatically changed it in my 3D view as I go along. All right, so then let's also find a desk chair. And we're going to do Load Family, go up to seating, and there's just a basic desk chair. We'll use this one, not too fancy. Now, with these where you can see the way it's facing, you can hit the Shift button before you click to set it and get it to face the right way as you go through. I can then, there's a couple of things I can do with this. I can either just copy it as I go through, or I can create a group with this. And when you create a group, it's going to let you make changes within it. And any other changes you have for that it'll carry over with that. Okay. So right here, it says create group, and I'm just going to label it office desk and hit OK. So now I can copy this over for each of my offices as it goes through. Okay. But then if I come into any of these groups and I click on it, I can edit it. And I can come in and let's say that I want to change this chair. So first I would need to choose, I need to load another component because I don't have another option. Let's see, so there's an executive chair. So we're going to open that. And we're going, oops, I lost it. So we're going to choose this, come down, and now we're going to make this an executive chair. Okay. We're going to finish it, and you can see that all of these have changed to an executive chair as you go through. Okay. So that's a very easy way to make changes for your furniture.